Welcome to Legion Builds, where I guide you on how to bring your favorite fictional characters into Dungeons & Dragons. This video and all my content is made possible by my Patreon supporters, and it's dedicated to everyone who subscribes to my channel. You're all the reasons why this keeps going. Join the Legion today at patreon.com/63rdlegion for free and help decide next week's new character. Joining my paid tiers allows you early access to my content, a shout out in my videos, homebrew D&D items for your games, and a chance to play some D&D in the Patreon community. We now have a Discord. It's just getting started, but we have some future plans coming, like events for Discord members and Patreon members. Time to return to the dark city of Commorragh for another dark and twisted warrior. From Warhammer 40k, it's the Incubi. While the Durkhari, or Dark Eldar to the lesser races of the galaxy, are a twisted race of violence, the Incubi are a whole other beast. Worshippers of the bloody-handed god, the Incubi are an armored order of mercenaries who don't relish the kill like the witch cults, but instead spend their long lives becoming the perfect killers. In battle, they are encased in bladed war suits that are so strong it can match a Space Marine's power armor in resilience. Even though it's as resilient as power armor, the war suit allows for full mobility of the warrior with absolutely no hindrance. Their preference for bladed weapons limits them to what they can carry into battle, but what they do carry is legendary. Massive blades known as claves carve through enemies with little effort. These blades are very unique in the fact that they have multiple grips along its back, allowing the Incubi to change their hold on their weapon to alter how they fight during combat. Though these are the only war gear seen in the tabletop, there are more weapons, such as the demi-claves, that is a clave that can be separated into two individual blades, though they took this ability away in 9th edition, but now it's returned, and a Punisher, a massive halberd, which was removed in 5th edition. Also, they don't carry ranged weapons at all anymore. Evidently, GW doesn't like the Xeno answer to Space Marines having more than 2 pieces of war gear, but Space Marines need a giant book for just their bolt weaponry. Listen, I like Space Marines, but GW's obsession with them can be pretty draining. For today's build, we'll be using the Player's Handbook. We're using standard point array to keep things simple, and we are not multi-classing, so this will be easy. Make Strength 15, Charisma 14, Dex 13, Con 12, Wisdom 10, and we're going to be dumping Intelligence with an 8, though that's because it's not needed for this build. Even the dumbest Durkhari have above 8 in Intelligence. We'll just have to fix this later. Incubi are Durkhari, space dark elves that can feed on pain to maintain themselves. Drow are dark elves and they'll work, but if I'm being honest, any elf lineage will work, but I never get to use Drow, so I'm having fun with this one. Dark Vision lets you see in darkness as if it's dim light out to 120 feet. Fey Ancestry gives you advantage on saves against or to end the charm condition. Keen Senses gives you the skill Perception. Trance makes your long rest 4 hours long where you can remain conscious and you can't be put to sleep magically. Elven Lineage gives you spells at different character levels. At the start, you get the spell Dancing Lights, which lets you create 4 floating orbs that count as torches for 1 minute while you maintain the spell. With a bonus action, you can move them. To finish out your lineage, you know the language Common and 2 more of your choice. For background, place +2 into Charisma and +1 into Dex. For your origin feat, Savage Attack lets you roll a second set of damage dice for a weapon attack once per turn and choose which set to use. For skills, grab Intimidation and Stealth. For your last proficiency, take Smith's Tools because you must be able to maintain and forge your own gear by yourself, as no one else is allowed to touch your weapons and armor. Level 1 fighters start things off with 2 skills. Take Acrobatics and Athletics. You are proficient in all weapons, armor, shields, and the saving throw Strength and Con. Fighting Style grants you a Fighting Style feat. For this feat, Great Weapon Fighting allows you to treat any damage roll of 1 or 2 as 3 when wielding a weapon with 2 hands when the weapon has the two-handed or versatile property. Second Wind allows you to feed off pain and heal yourself by 1d10 plus your fighter level with a bonus action. You can do this twice per long rest but regain 1 use at the end of a short rest. Weapon Mastery allows you to use special properties of your weapons called Weapon Mastery. To do this, this, you must choose up to 3 weapons you're proficient with at the end of a long rest, and now you can use the weapon's mastery property. For these properties, Longsword gives you Sap, which causes the creature to have disadvantage on their next attack after being hit with this weapon. Scimitar gives you Nick. Nick allows you to attack with 2 light weapons that have this weapon mastery property with the same attack once per turn, freeing your bonus action. Halberds give you Cleave, which allow you to attack a second creature with this weapon that is within 5 feet of the first, but you don't get your damage modifier. And finally, Greatsword gives you Graze, which allows you to damage a creature even if you miss with this weapon, dealing your attack modifier in the weapon's damage. Okay, those are the weapons most likely that Incubi would use in the game. By the end of this build, you'll have 6 weapon masteries active, and you can switch out abilities if you wish. Level 2 fighters gain Action Surge. You can now give yourself a free action once per short or long rest, but you can't cast a spell with this free action. Tactical Mind allows you to use your second win when you fail a skill check, adding the d10 to the roll, but if you fail, you don't lose the use of second win. Level 3 fighters now have access to their subclass. Champion, found in the player's handbook, is really going to amp up your combat prowess. Improved Critical lets you crit on a 19 or 20. Remarkable Athlete gives you advantage on initiative rolls and athletics checks. Additionally, after you roll a critical hit, you can move half your speed without provoking an attack of opportunity. You've hit character level 3 and gain a new spell from Elven Lineage. Fairy Fire creates a 20-foot cube out to 60 feet from you. Everyone within the cube must make a dex save, or begin to glow for 1 minute while you maintain the spell. Affected creatures emit dim light out to 10 feet from them, they can't benefit from being invisible, and all attacks against them are at advantage. You can cast this spell once per long rest. Level 4 fighters earn our first ability score improvement. Let's grab a feat. Slasher from the player's handbook adds +1 to strength. Now once per turn, when you deal damage with a slashing weapon, the creature's speed is slowed by 10 feet until the start of your next turn. Also, when you score a critical hit that deals slashing damage, the creature you hit now has disadvantage on their attack till the start of your next turn. You also now have 3 uses of second win and can have up to 4 weapon masteries. Level 5 fighters receive extra attack. You can now attack twice with a single attack action. Tactical Shift allows you to move half your total speed when you use second win. You're now character level 5, raise your proficiency bonus up to +3. You also get your final spell from Elven Lineage, Darkness. This lets you create a 15-foot radius sphere out to 60 feet from you of pure magical darkness. For 10 minutes while you maintain this spell, this darkness cannot be pierced by non-magical light, dark vision, or magical light of level 2 or lower. You can cast this spell once per long rest. Level 6 fighters earn another ability score improvement, bump up strength for more attack and damage. Level 7 champion fighters learn an additional fighting style feat. For this feat, Dueling adds +2 to the damage of a weapon that you're wielding in one hand and holding no other weapon in your other hand. This means wielding a sword as your clave, you can go from 1d10 with damage never lower than 3 on the roll, or deal 1d8 +2 damage. Level 8 fighters earn another ability score improvement, Cap Off Strength. Level 9 fighters now have Indomitable. You can re-roll 1 failed save per long rest. Tactical Master allows you to replace a weapon mastery of a weapon you are attacking with a different one from 3 choices. For these choices, Sap causes a creature hit with this weapon to have disadvantage on their next attack before the start of your next turn. Push causes the creature hit with this weapon to be moved 10 feet. Slow reduces the speed of a creature hit by this weapon by 10 feet. You may choose to replace the weapon mastery property after each attack. Your character level 9, bring your proficiency bonus up to +4. Level 10 champion fighters are now heroic warriors, or for you, sadistic warrior. Now, during combat, when you start your turn without an inspiration dice, you can give yourself one. You can now use second win 4 times, and can now have up to 5 weapon masteries. Level 11 fighters gain extra attack ×2. You can now attack up to 3 times with a single attack action, or 6 times with an action surge. Level 12 fighters earn another ability score improvement, but we need one more fighting style, so let's grab another fighting style feat. 2 weapon fighting allows you to add your damage modifier to your second attack when holding 2 light weapons. Now all you need is a weapon that can be a longsword and then transform into 2 scimitars. I'll get to work on that for my artificer tier. Level 13 fighters receive a second use of Indomitable between long rests. Studied attack allows you to recover after missing with an attack, giving you advantage on your next attack before the end of your next turn. You've hit character level 13, bring your proficiency bonus to +5. Level 14 fighters earn another ability score improvement. Place this into intelligence to wipe out that negative. Level 15 champion fighters get superior critical, now letting you crit on 18, 19, or 20. Level 16 fighters earn our official last ability score improvement, Bump Up Con, for more health. You can now have a grand total of 6 weapon masteries. Level 17 fighters now have 2 uses of Action Surge, but only once per turn, and 3 uses of Indomitable. You've reached the final milestone, character level 17. Max out your proficiency bonus at +6. Level 18 champion fighters gain their final subclass feature, Survivor. You have advantage on death saves, and rolls of 18 and 19 count as rolls of 20 on those death saves. You also regain HP at the start of each of your turns if you are below half your maximum health, regaining 5 plus your con modifier each time. Level 19 fighters now earn an epic boon, meaning you can now have any feat, including ones restricted to character level 19. Let's make you a real killer. Boon of Irresistible Offense adds +1 to strength and then improves your damage. You now always ignore resistances to slashing, piercing, and bludgeoning damage, and when you roll a 20 on an attack roll, you deal extra damage equal to the stat you increase with this boon. That means you're dealing +21 damage when you score a critical with a 20. Remember, you score criticals on 18 and 19 as well, but this only stacks with a crit of 20. Our final level is level 20 fighter, and now you have extra attack ×3. You can now attack up to 4 times with a single attack action. Now that we've hit level 20, let's recap. Your stats are Strength 21, Dex 14, Con 14, Intelligence 10, Wisdom 10, Charisma 16. Let's dive in. Monster, that's all that needs to be said. You can attack 4 times normal, 8 times with an action surge. You're critting on 18. When you crit with a 20, you deal an extra 21 points of damage. You can switch fighting styles incredibly easily, like mid-fight, can switch your weapon masteries when you hit, can slow down what you hit, move them when you score a critical hit, give yourself advantage when you miss, have advantage on initiative rolls, give yourself inspiration, heal yourself 1d10 plus 20 up to 4 times, regenerate health when you're below half. We're not even going into your weapon masteries because you have 6 different kinds. And finally, your total health taking the average is over 160. Downside: you're made for close quarters combat, meaning you have no ranged options. Even in the tabletop game, as I said, Incubi don't get ranged options. This is easily fixable, as you can just grab a gun. Having 3 fighting styles fits the lore, but there's 2 problems with this. 1, there is no weapon that would allow you to switch between all 3, and 2, it's not necessary to have more than 2 fighting styles. Great weapon and dueling really pair well with a longsword, but that's it. You also aren't dealing any other type of damage that isn't slashing. You can beat resistances to that, but magic this ain't. Though, once more, just replace it with something else. Finally, the Incubi warsuit would be plate armor, but lore-wise, that's a no. There's no real armor in D&D that would match for protection and mobility, so lore goes out the window when it comes to armor. This is very minor, but I love trying to be lore accurate when I can, and this one's really hard. But none of these matter to you. From the moment you set foot on this path, you've had one goal: to be the perfect killer, and you succeeded. I'd like to give a special shout out to my Artificer tier. Thank you John Martin, Christopher R. Hunter, Java Squirrel, Matthew Dens, and Jonathan Haynes. You guys rock. Make sure to like and subscribe to not miss a single new build each week on YouTube and Spotify. And make sure to check out my Patreon where you can help decide next week's new character.